Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good morning. It's super duper early morning here. And Excited Utterance. My name is Hella, and this is Seraph. Hello. My name's Seraph, and he's super purry today. He's super purry today. I see a Seraph putting where he says, I see a Seraph. Yes. And we have Steve Gosney in the house. Yes, we do. Lily. Hello, Lily. Nice to see you. You're new here. And welcome. Yay, the intro music. Hello, Becca Lynn. And salutations to Greedy Bloke. Yes, indeed. And Snivels is here. Hello, Snivels. Hello, Snivels. Yes, we are on. We're on, everybody. And let's have a look. Let's welcome in everybody. Hi. Welcome. Oh, I have to unmute everybody.
Nope, we're here. How are you?
You're in. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Dali.
Hi.
Welcome.
Yes.
Dali, I think the unabridged thing can probably go now.
Oh, yeah, probably can. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah, that joke's probably done with now. Steve, Dali had unabridged written on his title there because the
ship
Dali
was named Dolly.
the ship that
crashed into the bridge.
Crashed into the Baltimore Bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, was called Dali. Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, that went down like a lead balloon.
Anyway.
Oh, okay. Have you been, Steve?
Good. I've been I'm quite busy, and my workload is now springing. I go through waves, and so it's been back up, and so my last little short live stream was basically I might be dialing back again, because I have to adjust this hobby with how my workload at work and other things. So
yeah.
But thank you for having me on. I'm interested in this Apple River killing thing. I mean, I saw the video and I had some thoughts. I don't have much context other than that video. So also.
So you've just seen what the video that the guy took, the teenager who was yelling out. So the actual victim of I don't know if he actually got stabbed, but he was
no, I don't think so.
No, but the teenager. So
one of them.
Yeah. So you've seen that, or you haven't seen much of the trial, Steve?
Yes, I haven't seen any of the trial. I just saw the video. And
okay.
It's just interesting because I've done a lot of homicide cases, and people don't understand that most of the time murder is not a product of any kind of deliberation. It's generally comes from our most primal animalistic selves, and that we all are capable of murder. It's hard for people to understand that, but that you get backed into a corner and things will come out. There's a fight or flight response, and it's always amazing because you see this mob action that's kind of pervading the society. The internet is amplifying it, and these phones are amplifying it, and people think they're in some sort of television show, and they shove things in people's faces, and they get together in a mob, and then they hoot and they holler and they taunt. And the thing is that everybody is vulnerable to being enraged. And then it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. This sort of thing. They run around like they're surprised when they surround a car and the person runs people over because they're frightened, and they get in a response. And people are human beings, and that means we are not perfect. We don't respond. And it's almost like they're intentionally poking the bear. And the bear will come out of humans occasionally, and that can result in deadly responses. So it's very a lesson for young kids, people in the internet age, and I think anybody I'm not excusing the killing here or anything that was done, but I think that this is a very good example of murder that can come out of just our primal selves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Most of murders are drugs, mental illness, territoriality, jealousy, anger, hatred, just primal things. Gangs, he looked at me wrong, he disrespected me, and
Yes.
and then you lash out, and then people lash out. It's a human frailing. It's a weakness. It's
Yep.
animal kingdom.
Yep.
that is a response that could be expected. So I don't know what people think when they get in this sort of mob. Well, there's also this mob mentality that gets going, and then somebody reacts, and it's like, oh my God, he reacted. What do you know? It's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And people keep referring to these guys as kids, and whilst they were their brains weren't developed, like they're not developed until they're older, but they look like adults. Like that's the other thing. Like to this older man, they don't come off as kids. Like they
come off like little thugs. And what are they doing?
Yeah.
The thing is that there's the camera. They're playing to the camera. They're playing to their buddies. They want to look cool. They want to look tough, and they want to put somebody down. A weak man is actually very dangerous. Jordan Peterson talks about this. That a strong man is a protection. A weak man is a very dangerous man. And given technology, just a knife, somebody who seems to be cowering in the corner, that's the guy that's going to shoot up the school, right?
Yes.
Yet people, they say, oh, here's somebody who's weak, and we're going to target him, we're going to put him down. And there's a very strange group behavior, group mentality that gets into humanity when they get into these little mobs and little groups, and it's a very dangerous, toxic little cocktail. And so you see nothing good coming out of that mob. And I mean, I don't know. It's a warning to men and women and girls and young girls and boys who are in these group settings that they need to back off in these situations. They need to not. Exactly. I mean, when the mob gets going, disengage from the mob, de-escalate, back off, courtesy, politeness.
Exactly. Hi, Fundian. Good to see you. And hi, Half Irish. Hello. Who else has come in? Christine's here. How's it going? Good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so let's get into it. It's interesting that you've not been seeing the actual trial. You've seen the video, Steve. So that's cool, because you're going to see more of like just people's reactions rather than testimony. So it'd be cool to see like how you react to the reactions.
Right. Well, it will be one. Can I say one more thing? And that is that Branca has been covering this trial too from a self-defense perspective.
He has.
Yeah. And an interesting point that he made is that I guess it's the older man who was not part of the group, who was the stabber, right? But that actually a mob of teenagers, addition to the water itself is a deadly weapon, because he was being threatened with drowning and mob attack. So I just thought that was an interesting insight, which I don't know. I haven't done the analysis on it, and I'm sure there's a lot of facts in it that we don't know just by seeing the video. But I thought that was an interesting little insight that he had that I hadn't thought about until Branca came up with it.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, so I thought tubing sounded kind of harmless. I didn't really know what tubing was.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm in Australia. It's just because I just didn't know what tubing was.
They don't have tubing in Australia?
No, I'm sure they do. I'm sure we do. It's just I'm a little bit sheltered to these things. I don't sort of go out in the water and that. I'm scared of water. Hello. Hey, David. How are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're having a nice Sunday. You have a link if you want, but that's up to you. Completely up to you. I hope you're having a good day, though. And that tube does not look harmless to me. No, it's only a teensy weensy little skinny tube. It's not like a big, like choking tube or anything like that. So, or hella, yeah, I know. I'm just a little bit sheltered. That's all. And okay, let's keep going. Alrighty. So let's just watch a little bit of video from Court TV, because it just gives a tiny bit of insight into some of the testimonies. This is day 3, and it just gives a little bit of the witness testimonies.
Look at this comment right here from Nicole. Had almost a demonic look in his face. An eyewitness testified he did not get aggressive until after the raptors got in his face. Well, see, that's interesting. First of all, It's amazing how people project onto others internal thoughts. I don't know that he's got a demonic look, right? And then, of course, also, it's interesting that the group attack creates a fight or flight response. And a fight or flight response is a real psychological phenomenon. So when you are there is a primal instinct that when you feel threatened and backed into a corner, you're going to fight or flight. And you don't know, you really don't control that. It's an instinctual response. And I've actually experienced the fight or flight response. And you don't control how you react. And in this guy, he's going to attack.
Yeah.
And that's but these kids think like they're oblivious. They're oblivious that this is a possible reaction to your group attack. Now, you may not think it's attack. It's just, we're just joking around, man, or whatever you're minimizing. But in the scene, it's actually quite a scary thing to be mobbed like that.
Yeah.
I would think it probably would be. But the way that the state keeps showing the stills and they show the looks on this guy's face, it doesn't look like he's scared. It looks like he's evil. And they managed to show the looks on this guy's face just at the right time.
Very hard.
And I'm talking about
I understand that that's what they're portraying and all. I will say it's a great mistake to judge people's facial expressions and try to read too much into it. I know that it's human nature. We want to look at somebody and say that I can perceive that evil. I can tell he's lying, but it's not easily perceived like that. I think scared. He said somebody else. See, that's what I'm saying. That person's fond of you and is saying it's looked scared. So
yeah, exactly.
I would expect it's a fight or flight response on behalf of this person, and he fought.
Yeah. I can't stand it when people do that. When they're like, "Oh yeah, he looks evil. He looks demonic. He looks whatever." Yeah, he can look whatever to you, and especially in a still of a video. Like you can catch anyone in a still of a video looking like anything. Like
it's an after the fact thing too, right? So like, Ted Bundy, I knew that he was evil. You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
Well, you know that now, but at the time when you're encountering him, he's a charming guy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's just watch a little bit of this.
At 2924, looks like you're pointing and yelling at something in the direction of Mr. Miu.
Yeah. I mean, from my recollection, I saw him like walking up towards the others. I was telling him to walk away, but it looked like he was walking up to the girls in my group, so I was trying to get his attention, so I just put my hand on his back.
So after you put your hands on his back, telling him to walk away, what happened?
At the time, I thought he was going in to try and punch me, so I tried to hit his hand down, and then, he went at me again.
And were you actually able to hit his hand away the first time?
Yeah, I knocked it down, and then I have a scar right here from when I knocked it down. The knife hit and just scratched. And then after that, he came again and stabbed me.
Do you remember at some point along the river that something catching your group's attention?
Not specifically mine. I was just kind of hanging out with my friends on the tube, and we had stopped. And so I kind of asked why we were stopping. And I heard somebody mention something about a group looking uncomfortable.
So what do you remember next?
I remember getting off the tube, walking up to Mr. Miu. And I just remember Maddie being there and yelling at him. I remember her being punched in the face. And then I remember being stabbed, and that is completely it. I just remember seeing Nick's face very blank and not lunging at me, but just kind of poking me. And I held my side and I was like, ow, like Janelle, I think he punched me. That really hurt. And I looked down and I was bleeding out and holding my stomach, and it just didn't feel real. It was just a lot of shock. And from there, I was walking around the river asking for help, just asking somebody to help me. I told Q that I felt like I was dying.
At some point when you're tubing on the river, did something catch your attention or people's attention that you're with?
Yeah.
What do you recall about that?
Just a lot of loud noises, screaming, yelling. someone asking for help. My intention was, because I used to work at elementary schools and had experience breaking up fights with little kids and stuff like that. So my intention was to go over there and try and break it up. I saw him in the water and I saw people going around him. So I went to push his shoulder in the front, but ultimately didn't. He reached up and I guess, I don't know if you call it a stab, but got me with the knife. The most apparent thing obviously was that my stomach was open and my intestines were in my hands.
Are you comfortable showing? Do you have a scar?
Yeah, quite a big one.
Are you comfortable showing the jury?
Yeah, I can do that. Thanks. It stops right there. There's a little gap there because it hit my ribs, but that's it.
So when he's down in the water on the ground and you're standing there trying to be the peacemaker because you're not a fighter, you thought it was going to be peaceful to you to
Leading
keep him
objective.
down in the water?
I mean, it was shallow water. His head wasn't below. All we needed was an extra second to get people to move away from him, and then he could get up.
What you did
But
say
he
is
can-
Mr. Miu wasn't saying anything. You could agree that in this position, with somebody pushing him from behind and somebody hitting him in the front, it might be a difficult time to use your words to make peace.
Yeah, the right time to use your words would have been before he punched a woman in the face.
Okay.
Yeah, this is so typical. This is very, oh man, it's a great, interesting.
Yeah.
It's very
Please give us your
typical.
thoughts.
Well, this is a very, very typical of what you see in these type situations. It's because now all of a sudden, all the people, there's all these little halos of these witnesses.
Yeah.
I
They all
know.
have halos, and this guy is the bad guy. He's evil. Now, I'm not saying he's not in the absolute wrong. Okay, and he's
Yes.
probably. I mean, I haven't done the analysis like Bronca is, right?
Sure.
But I would expect that this is probably going to be a guilty of at least manslaughter. All right.
I think so
he-
too.
So he's not going to get away with this in any
No.
event. But
No.
to put the halo on the mob of kids attacking him, everybody had these good intents, and they're all trying to think when that is diametrically opposed to what we're seeing. They were egging on, they were instigating, they were
Mhm.
partially responsible for what happened because it's
Oh,
like
100 definitely.
it's like you're taunting a tiger, and I was poking the tiger with a stick, and all of a sudden he attacked me, and he attacked these kids. Well, that's what happens. And human beings are like tigers when they get the primal instinct out. And so but that's very typical because now the prosecutor, they have their target, and
Mhm.
probably properly so, right? But they then put the halo, the little white hats on everybody, and they just come across like. And so I take it that leading questions at the end, that was the defense attorney, right?
Mhm.
Trying to show that. But
Yes.
but people, of course, when now after the fact, and he may actually believe that on the stand that he was his pure thoughts were completely pure, because what happens is they've got antagonism,
Yes.
and then there's something really bad happens, and it's like, and now your friends are dead and you're stuck. Now all of a sudden the memories have to get recreated so that you've got the white hat, because you would not be responsible for anything like this. And I want to stay as far away from moral culpability as possible. So I put the white hat on myself. And then you actually create memories I was thinking I was going to break it up, and I was just doing, when in fact, that's not what was going on at the time. So
Yes.
it's bad.
Yes.
The thing is that there's a lot of losers here. Criminal law, there is no winner.
No, no, you can't. They can't be a winner. And the other thing is, like, yes, to Ella. Sorry, I'll just bring that back up again. Sorry, I didn't mean to take that off. Ella, the group of Miu and Co. were holding cans of beverages, including Miu, with those alcohol. Probably everyone was drinking. There is no one that was not intoxicated in some way in this at all. So it's not like there was anyone involved in this that was like sober. Everyone was either smoking marijuana or on some kind of drug or induced with some kind of alcohol.
That's again consistent with my experience. I'd say about 85% of the murders cases that I've been involved with, there's drugs or alcohol. Usually cocaine, but alcohol is also a big one. One of those two. And so you could have probably alcohol on both sides.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Dali, would you like to read out the comments? So not from
Yes.
Court TV. We've already heard that one. So these ones here.
Here's some irony. The knife could have been used to make bandaging for a sucking chest wound. I've heard them all say they put pressure on the wound or wind. It could be possible. Yeah. It could be possible they rushed his death with too much force to his chest. Okay. What really bothers me is the fact that Miu just walked away from the carnage.
Well, so, okay, here's another, that's an interesting point, because there's like, no matter what he does, it's culpable, right?
Yeah.
So if he is actually operating in self-defense, if that's what he's thinking, he probably, and again, this is probably somebody who thinks he's justified in what he's doing. Same thing goes for him. I was justified, and now I've backed them off, and now I'm going to leave because I've backed off the attackers, right? So he's going to put, look, I'm innocent too. Everybody comes away with this white hat when in fact they're operating at more of a primal level. So that's a very interesting thing that somebody says, well, look what he did when he walked away. That's not what an innocent person would do. Well, I think that's equally consistent with somebody with a clean mind, or somebody who thinks they're operating in self-defense and wants to escape, or who's just not caring. But see, it's a projection of what you think he's doing there.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Keep going.
As a juror, I can completely see his fear. He's older than the mob who was attacking him. He's outnumbered. They too could have just gone down the river instead of instigating. Sorry, but I'm a root cause thinker.
Right. Well, and see, this is, I don't know. I mean, it's this, but we ask people to read the minds of the perpetrator here. So we want to know, is he in fear or is he full of hatred and evil? That's part of the mens rea that they have to determine. And that is probably how this case is going to turn. If he's a person who is placed in legitimate fear of great bodily harm or death, and he strikes out with his knife, then that could be lawful self-defense. It's an interesting case because it's a very sad case. Very sad case.
Real quick, he's charged with just first degree intentional homicide and attempted first degree. So they haven't added any lesser includeds yet.
It'll probably will be.
Okay.
If I was to guess, we have to wait for the jury instructions, but usually lessers are required.
Yeah.
And I would definitely, if I was the defense, I'd definitely be asking for lessers here, because it sounds to me like an imperfect self-defense type case where he may have thought that he was justified, but he's just sadly wrong. But all those kids are wrong too, and it's just which lightning bolt? Because why don't they charge all those instigator kids with a principal theory, right? Some sort of negligent liability there that says that you knew this would have happened by doing it, so you are somehow involved, right?
Yeah, and half Irish, I think you're right. I simply don't see first degree, no.
I think it's in Florida, this is Florida terms, it would be a second degree or a manslaughter. That means second degree is heat of passion, and a manslaughter, probably second degree is probably the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ella, I think maybe, it's it's the thing with this, right? I haven't seen the other side yet, and I really feel like I need to see the other side. I feel like I need to see the whole lot of the testimony on this one. I really hope he does actually testify himself.
You probably would want to do that because, like you're saying, the people projecting these, if he comes across as human and people have this, he's an evil stabber guy, and he comes across as like an old, irreasonable kind of guy who's fearful of all these teenagers, then you have a better shot. I would definitely try to have him testify as on the defense team there.
If he's prepped.
If he's good. Yeah.
He's prepped.
That's right. Well, that's true. That's true. You have to assess, but I don't know. As I get older, I like putting my clients on the stand more because if at all possible, because the jury wants to hear from them. Yeah.
The jury wants to hear from them, but they've got to be ready. They've got to be right to go on the stand, don't they? Some of them, sometimes they can really mess it up.
There's some good chatters here. See, they're defense-oriented chatters. I like you guys, man. Becca, Lynn, and Snively's here.
Oh, yeah. They all hang out here. All right, have we finished this one or not?
Yes, I think so.
We have? Okay, let's keep going. All right. All right, so the jury. Let's have a look at the jury. This is a very interesting jury.
Ooh, a 90s person.
We have one in the 90s, yeah. So in case you're still looking for jury demographics, 8 men, 6 women, age group. We have 2 in their 20s, 1 in the 30s, 3 in their 40s, 3 in their 50s, 1 in their 60s, 3 in their 70s,
Wow.
and 1 in the 90s.
Jeez.
Wow, how's that person getting there every day?
Florida. It's Florida. They drive.
This isn't Florida. This is Wisconsin, right?
Oh, yeah,
Wisconsin.
you're right. Never mind. I'm sorry. I was just thinking of all the old people in Florida. So
I've never seen a 90-year-old juror. That's something.
Yeah.
No, I know, right? That's good on
for
him.
them. I'm proud of you. Good job.
Well
190.
done, man. If it's a man, I don't know if it is. Court has provided no additional information on occupation, hometown, etc. But we know they are all Saint. How do you say that? Saint Croix County, Wisconsin residents. Dolly, do you want to read that last bit?
Is there a reason jurors are divided by gender? Was this for ease of article? I think it's just a visual aid for us slow people. Lol. I'm appreciative, but would give a kidney for their ages by gender and professions.
Give a kidney? Well, that's a bit much.
That's a lot.
All right. So it's a fairly old jury. Like everyone's over 40 except for 3.
You know, if I will say this looks to me like a defense victory. If I was a defense attorney, I would want to get older people on my jury because older people know their physical limitations and see groups of young teenagers as threats. And because they know how physically debilitating age can be compared to the youth and vigor. Youths don't see past, tomorrow. So I think it's good. This is a good jury for the defense.
Yeah.
Just looking at demographics.
That's true. Although some people have said that there'll be some people in their sort of 40s, 50s, 60s who have kids that age, and they'll be like, they'll be sympathetic because they'll be mums and dads of kids that age, and they'll be like, how could you go after kids like that? So, don't know. But I don't know how much that would stand up. Okay, there's always going to be people like this. So, Dali.
He went to the Apple River with a knife. Give me a break. The guy looks nuts.
Oh, dear.
You think a knife is only good for killing stuff?
Yeah. Okay. Right. So, yeah, look, there's always going to be people who just get out the photos, and that's like a standard photo from Court TV, and they've gone and gotten this photo. And I gotta say, the dude doesn't look like the most friendly. I was going to say friendly of all of the defendants that you've ever seen. But that's the thing though. Like for me, I think he looks frightened myself.
Yeah, he looks like he's been in jail, and his mental capacity is.
Yeah, and he doesn't look well compared to a few years ago. You could see that a few years ago he was like bigger and healthier than now. He looks frail compared to a few years ago. And that tends to be how it is. They either gain weight or they lose it. They tend to decline in some way. But people always do this. They always pick a photo out and go, they look crazy. So
right.
Yep. Fantastic. Good. All right. So now, who was it? Was it half Irish? I think it was you who said to go and have a look at Lawyer, and have a look at the comments over there. So I did. Was it you half Irish? So I went and not just had a look at his comments, but I had a look at a little bit of what he had to say as well. So he had a video, he's got lots of videos on it, but he had a video called State's Best Evidence. And so I went and picked a little bit out of that. So it's the state's best evidence that Apple River incident was not self-defense. I share my thoughts tonight, premiering on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So I just picked a little piece out that I thought was interesting.
Nick Miu of
And
Turn it
just
up.
wait for the sound to come up. Here we go.
This way.
People in his group asking, what did he do? And maybe he didn't tell them.
All right, we'll worry about it over here.
And again, it's going to be really hard to come back from not saying anything is one thing. Just exercising your right to remain silent, asking for a lawyer, whatever. I will never condemn somebody for that. That makes sense to me. They can't read anything into it. You can't give, if you don't say anything, you can't give an alternative explanation for the events that a video proves you're lying or try to cover something up, hiding your knife, saying you don't have a knife, whatever it may be. Whenever you say something and lie, and you tell the big lie, like happened to Alec Murdaugh and so many other cases, that can be enough to sink you all on its own. Jurors start thinking, why lie about that? If you did something in self-defense, why lie about that? Why lie about this? Now, if you don't say anything, you don't lie, and they can't accuse you of lying. They can't use your right to remain silent against you. That's the point of the right. But when you start lying, it's the worst thing you can do when the jury has your own words to condemn you with.
What do you think about that, Steve?
I think that's a very good point. I know Tragos is an excellent attorney over in Tampa area, and he makes a very good point. That's why you don't say. Now, what was it that he said that was? I didn't hear what this defendant said. Something. What did the defendant say?
Okay, let's go back to the beginning. It was small. I was like,
This way.
People in his group asking, what did he do? And maybe he didn't tell them.
What did he say?
All right, we'll worry about it over here.
And again, it's going to be really hard to come back from not saying anything is one thing.
I think he just
Exercising your right to remain silent, asking
kind of
for a lawyer,
pretended
whatever.
like he wasn't the guy.
That makes sense to me.
yeah, and also there's another one. Yeah, so he acted like nothing happened. He walked away. There is some other video that's been getting around, and people have been playing it over and over again, of him in the police car, and he said, "I believe there's been a stabbing, and I fit the description." And they've been playing that over and over, and he's kind of acting like it's clear he's acting like he doesn't. It's not him. I fit the description, right? So, and he walked away.
It's easy to second guess, and maybe I'm just too much of a defense attorney at this point, but
yeah,
I've just seen it to see. I've seen people that have legitimate self-defense claims, right? They don't know how to react, and this is not something he does every day or anybody does every day, and you don't know. You're put in a place of fear, and that's why you should train yourself ahead of time. That anytime interacting, you keep your mouth shut and you ask for a lawyer. Peter's exactly right that anything that he says will be used against you. And so even though, I understand why he may be responding the way he is in that stress situation. A jury may not be, because I've seen a lot of cases and thousands of cases, and I know how defendants react. And it's independent of their culpability to the claim, right? I've heard people that are absolutely 100% not guilty because of self-defense, and then they lie and they cover up because they're afraid, So, but most jurors don't understand. They haven't seen that, and it's very typical. This is a typical type of response. So you have to go in. This is why Branca and I are buddies, because he trains people. You learn ahead of time before the use of deadly force. You game it out and how you're going to react.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing. I appreciate that too. Like being here, and there's not just guns everywhere. It's not something you have to think about that much, but there's still knives and stuff like that, right? The whole idea of just getting a deadly weapon out and using it is quite foreign to me. But I like the way that like Branca and Sean, all of you guys, you all talk about the fact that it's a huge decision it's a life-changing decision.
It's the last place. It's not the first place. But see, there's in fact, I did a video on this a while back about the proper mindset, the attitude that you need to carry when you're carrying a concealed weapon, for example, or a knife for that matter. And that is that there's so many people that have this gun and they think they're looking, they ask the lawyers, well, can I shoot him now? When can I shoot him? And they're leaning into it. They're leaning
Into
like,
it, yeah.
oh, now I know I can shoot, so I'm going to shoot. That's
No.
exactly the wrong way. The attitude has to be cautious, back off, laid back. And then it's the last thing you go to. And it's the mindset of leaning in and leaning back is all the difference. I know that and this guy, see, it's hard to tell because he's an older guy.
Mm.
They're swarming him. They're knocking him down. Is he supposed to go running off in the river to where? I mean, he's really put in a difficult situation. That's why I'm saying that the mob has responsibility. But then when you pick individuals out of the mob, they've all got the white hats. I was just freaking up, and I was not doing anything, and he just came on. But it's the group action that's very dangerous. Mobs are very dangerous things.
Yeah, and in water too.
In
the other
water,
things, like
the whole
they
thing
could drown him.
Yeah, it's everybody's losing here. Everybody's losing. There's a kid who's lost his life. There's somebody who's got a star, his guts ripped open. There's families around. There's this guy who's on the stand. There's everybody's life has really been gratefully harmed by stupidity and alcohol.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Dali, would you like to read the chat from lawyer because actually just before you do, I just wanted to say, like, I find the commentary from lawyer chat his chat to be really quite interestingly different to his you there you had to drink to his mindset. I find him really, really fair-minded. I really appreciate his take on things. But then I find his commenters to be extremely single-minded. It's very interesting.
That Dragos, your lawyer,
Yeah.
I interviewed him, and I think he's one of the best. It's because he's such a pretty boy. You look at somebody like that, and you're like, I say that. Man, that guy, he's too good looking. He can't be smart, right? But I know the problem have it all. And his analysis, whenever I watch him, and I don't watch him, I try to watch many people really. I'm always impressed. He's very careful, methodical, and thorough. And I really like the way he approaches things. So Tragos, I give him a thumbs up.
He is good. I like watching him. And then I look at his chat, and his chat are just like guilty all the time. I'm like, that's really strange. All right, keep going, Dali, please.
I hear someone got stabbed, and I fit the description. You are toast, buddy. I hope so. The young man was barely 17. Actually, he looked 14 or 15. Maybe I'm biased because I'm the mother of 3 young men. I hope you raise him better than that. He walked back to his group. He could have stayed with them, but then went back to where the teens were. If he was so afraid for his life, why did he go back where the kids were? He went back to stab them.
Oh, well, I don't agree with that, but I would say that I think that the thing is both sides can be wrong.
Yeah, we usually are.
So what do we do in this situation? You just have to apply the law, and
Steve, what Becca said, half Irish. His tattoos are just there for his looks, like Gosnick.
You're sweet. Well, you're my kind of lady. Thank you, lady. But I don't think so. Becca, you're awesome.
I agree.
But I think Dragos has got me in the looks department.
He could have called 911 or had someone in his group call 911 for him and then maintained a safe distance until the police arrived.
I don't know about that. It looked to me like that group was kind of swarming him, and they were ruthlessly antagonizing him with their phones, and they're poking him and they push him down. Now, I mean, I think the mob bears a lot of culpability here. Exactly. If you put any person in that, you put 1 out of 10 of those people might react the way he did. And, it's like you're playing with fire. You're poking a tiger. Why are you poking the tiger? Why don't the kids back off? But then again, that doesn't justify him pulling a knife and stabbing somebody and killing somebody using deadly force. But it's just a loser. It's a terrible situation. And it's like we expect the law to somehow grant perfection in the situation. Like, oh, this person's right, this person's wrong. Everybody's wrong here. Everybody's wrong. Now the question is what is the punishment to this guy who used this knife? Is he going to get punished? And if so, how much? That's the question before the court, because what's done is done, and everybody's wearing a black hat.
Exactly. Also, I just want to say, where is it? Was this a second group cutting him off and escalating? Oh, yeah. So there's a second group, right? So I didn't get this until just recently, that the second group, they're actually from the same. They're friends, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's just that they didn't all fit together. Like, there's two groups of tubes because they tie the tubes together.
Yeah,
and they all like because they all float down the river together, kind of like otters. And because you know how otters hold hands.
Oh.
That's how I imagine it. And
Australian of you.
I just imagine otters holding hands getting down the river together. And so they're all friends, right? And the second group, they start to come down the river and they see what's going on and they intercept, but like they're acting like that they were intercepting in order to break it up, but actually they escalated it. That's kind of what I'm getting. Then a second group cutting him off and escalating it. Yeah. Tell me if I'm wrong, chat, because sometimes I am, not just because I'm sometimes wrong, but sometimes because I'm asleep halfway through the trial. That happens to me.
I'm looking at your chat is very interesting. They're making a lot of interesting points over here. So I appreciate the excited utterance chat.
I have a very smart chat.
You do. A good group.
Yeah, I do. All right, let's keep going. All right, so next. Sarah Azari. And here, just a second, guys. I am just going to have to. Yeah, well, you can read that, and I'm going to load up this again because my screen is going berserk. Okay, you read that.
The Apple River murder trial is on its way to an acquittal. Miu acted reasonably when using force. He was bullied, threatened, assaulted, and taunted, all while outnumbered. He wasn't the only one with a knife, and he was distraught after the fact.
Oh, for God's sake, cat. Cats.
Oh my God, what's going on?
The cat is trying really, really hard to get in behind the screen and get into his normal. Okay, because he really, really, really wants to get in behind the screen and sleep behind there. And when he does, he pulls out the cord and because I set up a fort beforehand. Darlie, tell everyone about the fort.
Fort kick-ass.
Yeah, like I tried to set up a fort.
She did.
And I
He
did.
didn't like it.
And he didn't. Now he's protesting about the fort. And he tried to get in underneath the fort. And just now, everything just went berserk. Don't poke the tiger. Yeah, well, my cat is the tiger right now. Sorry, Phil. Just a minute. Okay,
100% not guilty. Definitely an acquittal from me. Surrounded, outnumbered, assaulted. Reasonable reaction in my mind. I'm not so sure of that. If I was on the jury, I would not acquit. He never sought help. He hid the knife, lied to his group about the kids having knives. That doesn't sound like someone fighting for their life. Just my opinion. Such a tough case, though, for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna present this instead.
Yeah, I mean, and being an old guy, I don't. How old is this guy? Do you know?
50 something.
He was born in 69.
Okay, so he's 2 years younger than me, and I can tell you that at that age, there's no running away from this group.
And he just had heart surgery, as I recall.
Yeah,
too.
You're basically stuck where you are. Your feet are stuck in the ground. They have old man strength. Once you get in a grapple, you're in trouble. But as far as like running away, I mean, that's delusional when you talk about it.
You are going to go outside in a minute, right?
I love it. This is great.
He's protesting bad. He's like, that's my sleeping spot. Put me back in there. I'm like, no. All right.
It looks so cute and innocent, but boy, what a terror.
He's 17. He is an old man, and he's like had enough of the situation. He's like, come on, just let me have my way. You are staying with me. All right. You want snuggles? Okay, fine. You can have snuggles. All right. Have we finished this page or not? No, we haven't done this side.
What are your thoughts on the defense opting for a bench trial? Not even sure if that was an option.
I've very rarely do you get bench trials in this type of situation. I wouldn't allow a bench trial.
Okay.
The judges slam this guy. There's no, no, I definitely wouldn't. Although it's funny. Well, funny. It's the current death penalty case that just hit my desk. The defendant opted for a bench trial in his penalty phase.
Really?
Yes. Judge gave him death. So
was that a well-known case?
No.
Okay. No, there's another Florida case I was thinking of. So.
Wow, he dipped out.
Yeah. But well, there's an interesting appellate issue in it that I'm working on. But yeah, so it's it doesn't mean that it's not possible. But defense. He's got a defense attorney. Defense attorney's good. The guy represented himself, by the way. So no defense attorney's going to tell you do a bench trial or something.
That might be the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's they call a Hearst resentencing. So the guy was originally sentenced to death, but with a non-majority verdict.
Okay.
It was a reckon. So he got resentenced. It's a resentencing only. It's a complicated case, but
okay. I'm not surprised at your opinion. In response to Isaac Schuman's attempt to strangle him, Miu flicks his knife towards Schuman as he falls backwards. This is common sense and, more importantly, legally justified self-defense.
Okay, that's really. Before we comment on that, I'm going to flick forward to the next slide because I've got a close-up of this. So it's the same comment but with a close-up, and I just wanted to look at that. So he said,
"Look at the word flicks. Flicks is a pro-defense word.
Yeah.
Thrusts is a prosecutor word. Flicks is a defense word. So it's all descriptive. Is he flicking the knife or is he thrusting the knife, right?
Yes. I don't know about this. This is really interesting. I like this comment. In response to Isaac Schuman's attempt to strangle him, so that's Isaac's hands, right? So
look at sniffles. That's great. Interesting hand position for the de-escalation right there.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, de-escalation, hey? And Isaac's the one who unfortunately is passed on. So
and it's a throat in the water, surrounded by a group. I'll tell you, I'd look very hard at the self-defense claim because there's a lot of bad facts here. Group attacks like this, and we've seen them, like Antifa. These kids, they mob by and then they hit them with a skateboard. Remember in the Rittenhouse? Hit you with a skateboard. Oh, it's just a skateboard. It's innocent. I was just skating, man.
Ironically, that's his attorney.
Then one hits and then you knocks you down, and then another person comes by and kicks, and another one throws, and then it's like a stoning. I just threw one little pebble. Yeah. But when you have 50,000 pebbles thrown at you and rocks and everything, it's like, well, I was just a part of the group.
Yeah, this is very damning. This still right here. Like, I tell you what's he doing? Why has he got his hands on his throat like that?
That guy has no right to be attacking this man. What does he do? Obviously, who's the attacker here? Now, the problem here, and this is a very typical self-defense type case, is that the state will say this is non-deadly force that's being exerted for him. So you can't respond to non-deadly force with deadly force. That's the disparity. Now, that's the debate. Is this deadly force or is this non-deadly force? If a defense attorney is going to say he's going for the throat, it's a group attack by a bunch of criminals that he doesn't know what's going on, and they're continuing the attack, and there's water where he could be drowned. He's already been pushed down. That's deadly force.
That's deadly force.
The prosecutor's going to say it was just a fisticuffs. It was just kids. They were snapping towels and being jocking and hitting each other, rabbit punches, right? It's all innocent fun and play, right? So it's innocent. So it's all a perspective.
No. Look, I absolutely believe that right there, you can't say that's not deadly force. That is a young man with his hands around the neck of an older man, and there's other people that are on the young man's side. So no.
And this guy was all alone, right? So everybody around him is a threat. Everybody around him is part of a one unimind mob, and this guy is alone in the river. So that is very, I mean, to me, as an old dude who can't walk, I can only walk, I can't run, and being in a river and alone.
Yep. I find that one there is very damning. That one there. And like the prosecution loves the stills. Tell you what, that's still there. Yeah. That one's for the defense. Okay, let's keep going. Right. So Kathy Russell, she's from Law and Crime, isn't she? Or Court TV?
Law and Crime.
Okay. Do you want to read that one?
Mattison Cohen is on the stand at Nicolae Miu trial. She does not want her testimony broadcast. Ugh. Judge orders no audio/video. This is Mattison in the Apple River video. No surprise.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, okay, so this lady here, Mattison, I don't know if you remember her from the video you saw, Steve. She was right up in Nick Miu's face. There she is. And she was yelling and going on. And she's decided to, as a victim, she's decided to not have her testimony broadcast in any way. So no audio and no video. Just so you know. Keep going, darling.
No surprise she doesn't want to be seen or heard. She stuck her nose in a situation she knew nothing about. The one witness I was looking forward to, especially Corey Schroffese's crust. Court TV, that lady inserted herself in that situation. Her testimony should be public. She didn't hide that day. Why now? Of course she doesn't. She escalated the entire situation.
Yeah.
Well, another one is that addition of women to a situation does amp up the testosterone level. You know, there's a males have an instinctual desire to protect and champion women. Women know this, right?
Yeah.
And they do instinct. They want to see their men stand up for them and go and fight. And so, and men will protect. And so when they see somebody like they're going to stand up, and all of a sudden the brain level goes way down, right? It's like the worst thing you can do is when you have a bunch of teenagers in a car, especially a bunch of young male teenagers in a car with no adults and a couple women in there. That's where you see a lot of very deadly car accidents, because like they're showing off, they're throwing their peacock feathers out, and there's this primal animalistic thing that's in us. Yeah, and women know it too. Women know this.
Yeah, they get in the way, and then the men are like, okay, so now let me get in the way. So it's interesting that, so there's that lady, if I can put my pointer over it. So this lady here, that's not Mattison, that's Mattison there. But this lady here, I believe she's the one who got stabbed in the guts. And so Mattison didn't get stabbed. I think this one did. Is
that the one with the phone in the face?
Yeah, the one with the phone in the face. So
look at what is up with this? I mean, I got, there's such antagonism here. It reminds me so much of these mob attacks that's going on in this country. It's a technique. It's a mob technique that's been perfected in the internet era with their phones and their antagonism, and then they're generating reactions, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, somebody got killed." You see this. It's repetitive over and over again. I think it's
very weird. It's scary weird. It's like and then it's not real. This is not real. It's like, hang on, mate. It's real. Yeah. It's real. You just got it on camera, mate. It's real.
Well, this just shows this is very typical of murder. People, it's not like there's some evil guy. It's somebody who is overreacting based on primal instinct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Darling.
People really need to understand that the adult in the situation has to make a smarter decision than children.
Oh, here we go.
The Apple River situation is so heartbreaking. It doesn't matter what the children were doing. The 51-year-old is in the wrong period. That's a reptilian argument, not a legal one.
That's great. Good response.
There are 14-year-olds in Newark who will stab you while you attempt to act like an adult. Several are over 18 and they were all drinking. They're not children. Wrong. The parents of those assholes are responsible.
Oh, here we go. Are we going to charge his parents?
I don't. Now. Don't bring my mama into this.
Is this going to end up like the Crumblies now?
Yeah.
So, oh dear. Goodness me, that's just pushing things a little bit too far. And
but
yeah,
again,
of course, we're going to have
the prosecutor will say these young men and women, these children. I mean, it's all the innocent, the words. And then, of course, the defense is going to be saying these little juvenile attackers, right? I mean, it's all words to describe. It's all the same thing, but we're attaching labels that have in connotations that reinforce our own preconceptions. Fascinating.
Exactly. And it's just children. I mean, have you seen these people? They didn't look like kids.
Yeah, those kids are capable of killing this guy.
Yeah, I mean, the dude that was filming it, he's this big, giant dude. He's huge. Huge. Like, my goodness, he's so threatening looking. Like, the whole lot of them, they all threatening looking. And look at those chicks. Like, those chicks were right up in his face. Like, I'd be scared of them. I mean, they could bitch slap me. I reckon. I'd be scared. The only thing that bothers me about what Nick did is I think there might have been a couple of the protagonists, or whatever you like to call it, a couple of them that he may have swung at. He might have gone a little far. There may have been a little bit of stabby that might have been a little unnecessary. But like I think the guy that was going like this at him, that was self-defense. I think that the girls, there were some girls that were like punched with the knife. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure whether or not that was a little bit of an overreaction. I don't know. But I don't know. I need to see the rest. Of the trial.
Definitely.
I need to see the rest of the evidence, because it's just, with these things, I just feel like people are so quick to go guilty, not guilty, guilty, not guilty. And
It's not an easy call. I mean,
it's not easy.
I would need to watch. I'm very busy and I don't have time to watch this trial, but this is one of those things. This is one of those cases you really need to listen to the evidence, watch the trial very carefully, suspend judgment until you've heard all the evidence, because this is not an easy case.
It's not. It really isn't. It's not cut and dry. It's not cut and dry at all.
Which is why we like it as entertainment purposes, right?
Sure.
I mean, it was easy. It's interesting to analyze because of this vagarity and the fact that it does polarize. Of course, the media likes these type cases because there's people that are going to take these radical sides, these positions, and they're just going to fight. Oh, no, I'm right. You're right. That's the kind of case that the media loves to cover, including us, I guess, right?
Oh, we're all enjoying watching this. Is it fascinating trial? And the lawyering is great as well.
Oh, really good. I like
really enjoying the lawyering. The arguments are good. The cross has been great so far. I'm really looking forward to the defense bringing on their side. Really can't wait for that. Hey, Dina, how's it going? How's it going?
Well, and let's just be clear on, well, this is a tricky case, and this is one where lawyering might make a difference. But if you have good judging and good lawyering, what you hope is that the case will be resolved by the facts and the law. Bad lawyering on either side can take and make injustice by making the focus on something other than the facts or the law. So, if I was like, I'm the greatest lawyer of all time, and I go in there, well, if I've got bad facts or the law is against me, then, it's going to go the other way. So that's the way that law, we should put the focus on that and not the lawyering. So I'm happy to hear that there's good lawyering, because now the jury's going to be given the difficult choice. No matter what they do, it's going to be a tough choice. If the guy gets away with murder and they go not guilty, that's going to be a hard call. And then if they convict him of first degree murder, that's a hard call. If they go compromise manslaughter, that's a hard. I mean, there's no like magically correct jury verdict. It's whatever they come up with. That's what the justice is going to be. But you hope with good lawyering, you're going to have a clarity, a spotlight on what they should be deciding and not something else.
Absolutely. And the judge seems good as well. So far, the judge seems to be making some pretty good calls. Steve, this is Rittenhouse too, same prosecutor, same defense attorney.
Is it?
The
same prosecutor as Rittenhouse?
No, defense attorney.
Oh, same defense attorney as Rittenhouse. Oh, that's interesting. Well, he's not guilty.
Same prosecutor, no.
No, it's it's not Binger.
No.
I didn't think I've heard of that if it was Binger.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But he says same prosecutor.
No,
I
don't think it
same
is.
office.
Yeah.
Same office, yeah. But no, the judge is actually so far. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I'm pretty happy with the judge so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, for Wisconsin, it's going pretty well.
Wasn't the Darrell Brooks case in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Because the Darrell Brooks case, that prosecutor, that was the best prosecutor I've ever seen in any case that I've watched, which is about 6 full trials. That prosecutor, and I think she was like that was her career-ending trial, was exactly the way it should be done. I have nothing but absolute praise for that prosecutor. So, looks like we have the full gamut of absolutely horrible Binger style to great prosecutors. So, luck of the draw.
Absolutely. So I think, I agree with you, Dave. The defense is the giant in the room. The state's nervous. There's some seriously
there's a lot
good
to work with.
lawyers.
If you're a defense attorney, there's a lot to work with in this case.
Yeah, and
Do
I
you
don't
what
know
the offers were prior to this case.
what the sorry was.
Were there offers made to this guy?
I'm not. Don't know. Sorry. That's a good question. If anyone knows in chat, please let us know. But I don't know if this guy's got money or what, but he's really, he's hired some seriously good defenders. So he's chosen well.
I do know in Wisconsin, they rarely take pleas for murder trials.
Rarely.
Just because what the state gives you is so high, there's no point.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, and usually this guy, he's an older guy. 25-year offer is basically life in prison. So and I'd
Rittenhouse had a few.
25-year-old. I would think if this was in Florida, this would probably be a 20+ year offer if you were going to get an offer. So and there's a lot to work with. I mean, I don't know if I was in that situation, I'd probably roll the dice, because if you get a good defense attorney, there's a lot to work with the self-defense. This mob, and especially with the media, I think he's got the public policy kind of groundwork of what we're seeing, at least on the conservative side, with his Antifa attacks, these mob attacks, really kind of prep the playing field for a defense focused on a teenage mob attack like this. So it may be that you have friendly territory in a jury pool, but that's going to be, boy, I do a lot of jury pooling. I would do a lot of jury testing and faux jury trials to see what they're thinking.
Dave Baum's got the info. No offers, $1 million bail. He's in jail, and his wife divorced him 2 weeks ago. Oh, he's out?
No, his wife divorced him.
Sorry.
It was
the bail was set at $1 million.
Yeah,
right.
I've heard it was for financial reasons, and they're still together though.
They are together. Yeah. The ink apparently just settled on the divorce papers. So the divorce is financial reasons. I'm sure it's so that she doesn't get ruined
Yeah.
by his
The civil suit's going to be coming back, and
but she stands by him apparently. How sad to have to divorce your husband.
well, but it's
such
smart.
a thing.
Yeah.
It is smart. It is smart. But yeah, $1 million bail, there you go, to protect her. Yeah. Okay. So let's just hear from someone on TikTok, shall we? Why not? Because we have to.
I think it's murder and not self-defense. Were the young adults wrong for calling him raper, pedo, all of those things? Yes, absolutely. Were they intimidating when they surrounded him? Yes, absolutely. But I don't believe anyone put their hands on Nicolae until he punched the young girl Mattison, allegedly. Nicolae did not need to stab 5 people in order to get out of that situation. It was excessive and did not match the threat. It's so wild to me when I watched other videos about the Apple River stabbings and all of the comments. Basically, people are blaming these kids, and I'm sorry, but I just can't.
Well,
what do you think? Drop a comment.
She lost me at that last part about kids, but see, she's making the prosecutor case.
Yeah.
And which is a disproportionate use of force. I mean, that's a good thing. He stabbed 5 people. I didn't know that. So that's a lot of stabbing. Was all that stabbing necessary? The kids, but this is the thing. We want to put a white hat on somebody. We can't handle the fact that it's a lot of bad actions. Everybody was screwed up. You know, what was the mob group ridiculous? The worst thing ever? No, but it was bad and worthy of contempt. Was his action the worst thing ever? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's vague. It's mushy. This is law, right? But she's making a prosecutor offer, and that's, if she's on your jury, you get a prosecuting conviction, right? Do you want her on your jury as a state?
It's funny. Lol, who is this idiot? Well, this is the thing, Mustang McCracken, and that's why I do. This is why I do this, right? Is because I want to show you what else is out there, right? And TikTok isn't actually completely full of this. There are people who are saying the same sorts of things that we're seeing in our chats as well, but TikTok has a fair bit of this too, right? Has a fair bit of this kind of commentary as well, right? So when I say like the state's case, there's a fair bit of this commentary on TikTok, and so we might think that she's speaking like an idiot, but that is what's out there, and that's what the show is all about.
I don't think that was that idiotic. I think she's just making the state's case that she's explaining, and that's exactly what I was saying. It's a disproportionate. So she was being attacked and threatened with non-deadly force, and he responded with disproportionate excessive force. And so what's the state going to say? They're going to say there was no weaponry used. It was simply a fisticuff or a pushing and shoving that he escalated. It was a girl that hit him, and he's reacting, and then he's slashing at 5 different people and stabbing and thrusting at 5 people. Yes, which is excessive. So she's just that's the case for the state. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm getting at is that it's worth looking to hear these different opinions, because sometimes people say something that we didn't know. Like it didn't occur to me really that he stabbed 5 people, right? Like it didn't. I mean, I've watched the opening statements, but I've kind of forgotten them, right? And it's 5 people. I know that there were a lot of people that were surrounding him, but did 5 people need to be stabbed in order to diffuse the situation?
Let me come back as a defense attorney on that, and I'll turn that around on you, because the counter to that would be, he's standing, his feet are firmly planted in this river. He can't flee. He's an old dude. He's not going to be run off. And he was in arm's length distance of 5 attackers who were surrounding him and mobbing him. How is it that 5 people were so close that they were in range of a thrusting attack? So, so for the same thing, you'd say, well, he's not. You can see he's not running, chasing them. They're attacking him when he is striking back. He's in fear for his life at that moment. So I think that there's a counter to the 5 persons getting struck in that shows you how much mobbed he was.
Yes.
Because they could have backed off.
Could have. Oh, well, they should have. They should never have been doing that in the first place.
The kids were very wrong here. That doesn't mean that he was not also wrong.
No, it doesn't mean he wasn't also wrong.
Right.
Okay, and one more from TikTok. Now, here's the thing. We can watch a little bit of this for a second, but the comments are funnier.
Were you familiar with a person named Isaac Schuman?
Yep.
How did you know Isaac?
We've been friends. We were friends since I was like 7th grade.
You described your relationship as close?
Yes.
Do you recall the day of July 30th, 2022?
Yes.
Were you with Isaac that day?
Yes.
Were you with him on the river when he was killed?
Yes.
Were you part of the group that had met at Stillwater High School and rode over with Alex Bang's vehicle to River's Edge to rent tubes?
Yes.
Were you with the group the whole day?
Yes.
Do you remember what time you got on the river? About what time?
I do not.
Were your tubes tied together?
Yes.
Did that create one big raft?
Yes.
Were you all sitting on the tubes?
Yes.
His tubes were tied
on the river?
Yes.
Did you have any alcohol to drink?
Yes.
What did you personally have to drink?
A couple beers and maybe a couple shots.
Okay, what kind of shots did you drink?
Tito's.
Is that a vodka?
Yes.
Did you have use any other substances?
We also smoked.
When you say you smoked, is that referring to marijuana?
Yes.
Did you see Isaac Schuman using any marijuana that day?
I don't remember.
At some point, let me ask you this. Despite the alcohol you drank and the marijuana you used, do you have a recollection or a memory of what happened that day?
Yes.
At some point, as you were going down the river, did you have contact with the defendant, Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Do you know whereabouts that was on the river?
Towards the end.
Do you remember any landmarks being in the area?
Not really.
Or had you ever been on the river before that day?
Yes.
When you first saw Mr. Miu, what did he appear to be doing?
He was standing in short water with the goggles and a snorkel.
All right. Did you ask him or?
Dali, get your stoned voice out.
Oh, it's crazy. My house is on the Apple River Bridge Street next to the buses. I live right on the riverbank. Very sad. Bro, this is crazy. What happened right in my house? 10 days, bro. Where do you live? 10 days and 6 hours from me. Crazy. So sad. This is a 5-hour flight from my house. So crazy. I live in this courtroom. Dude, this is so sad. This is a 67-day walk from me. I don't know how anyone can justify this murder. It's equivalent to saying that a girl who is...
Wait, before you finish, right?
Yeah.
There were about 50 more comments like that. It's so sad. This is just right across the country from me. People on TikTok, I swear, once they get a joke going, it just keeps going and going and going and going. It's like,
that's why I love the chat though, because there's usually a lot of wisdom. There's funny, at least, now sometimes there's trolls, but
yeah, they just kept it going. It was, I was giggling. It was like, I wish I could just put the whole lot in, but I didn't have time. Okay, keep going. Now, at least there was one serious one.
I don't know how anyone can justify this murder. It's equivalent to saying that a girl who is dressing scandalously should get wrapped because she's asking for it. In the end, it was him with a knife. And him who couldn't control his anger and stabbed these teens. I don't know about you, but no matter how angry I was, I could never imagine stabbing anyone.
See, this is that moral superiority that people love. They don't recognize that they're human beings with a fight or flight response as part of them. And so they're saying, but they're like, but I'm so great because I would never stab somebody. And I can't imagine I would ever do that. Well, you haven't lived, right? Or you don't understand human nature then, because we all have within us the murderous rage. We all have within us the ability to kill. And it's been demonstrated throughout history in every criminal courtroom across the country that humanity, we have these emotions, we we have instincts, we have primal desires, we have primal reactions. And so this is that moral preening that people like to parade and feel like they're good about themselves because I'm going to say, I would never do that because I am so proud. Right? You know, it's like, get off the high horse and get back into the real world and judge things with reality.
Wow. Goodness me. Like, what a ridiculous analogy. I don't know how anyone can justify this, but it's equivalent to saying that a girl who is dressing scandalously should get raped.
I don't even get that analogy. To me, that's such a ridiculous, disconnected. Yeah, I don't even want to address that because it's, what are you even talking about? It's not a good analogy.
It's just stupid.
Well, it's just low level. But again, people are morally preening in the chat, and
all right, so guys,
very tough case.
That was awesome. We're going to talk now about Kohberger. It's up to you if you want to stick around.
Yeah, I got to go on this because I've got other activities planned. But hey, it was a pleasure.
That was amazing.
Dolly,
thank you so much.
Seeing you.
You're awesome, man. I love the readings. You're a good team. This is a cool tag team right here.
You are so great, Steve. Thank you so much for hanging out. That was awesome. Yeah, we're going to get into Kohberger now. Everyone subscribe to Steve Gosney. Buy his books. Do you want to talk about your books? Your new one?
Just the new one. If you want my new novel, it's not a true crime. It's a crime novel, murder mystery, R-rated version available on stevegosney.com. If you are easily offended by lust, then I've extracted the lust and given you the PG version on free on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get this book, which is the PG version, Death Penalty Desired, minus the lust, on Kindle Unlimited.
Minus the lust.
Yes. And so
why would you not want the lust?
Exactly. Well, that's where you got to go to my website for that. Anyways, thank you for having me on. Thank you, chat. You got a great chat. Nice folks.
Oh, it so do. Yay. Okay. Thank you so much. You have a great day. Lovely Sunday. Bye, Steve. Bye. Always. Bye. All righty. So in Latah County, questions have been asked about whether questions have been asked.
Ooh.
Yes, indeed. So Kohberger, Jennifer Coffin something or other. What's her name? Yeah, and I'll just get rid of this little overlay for a second so you can read it. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So lovely Jennifer Coffin, whatever, has come along and she's giving us a little bit of background on what's going on, guys. If you didn't know, the defense in the Bryan Kohberger case has gone and put out a survey to people in the Latah County area about what they know about the Bryan Kohberger case. If you didn't realize, they probably know about the Bryan Kohberger case. Let's just say that. Off you go, Darlie. Give us your best Jennifer Coffin liquor voice.
Bryan Kohberger's attorney surveyed 400 potential jurors in Latah County about the case. As you can imagine, the prosecution is livid. Wait until you see the questions and article attached. Judge the survey straight away while awaiting a hearing on the matter. Then Kohberger's attorney went after Judge with a left field claim that the judge was interfering with Kohberger's due process because he temporarily halted the surveys pending a hearing. Slap in the face to Judge by Ann Taylor duly noted. The judge has
that's his name, Judge.
Yeah. with concerns with how the surveys were worded and wants more information before ruling about venue. Judge was definitely irate at Anne, accusing her of going behind his back. Anne quickly dodged responsibility for the question, saying she didn't know exactly what the questions were. I call BS on that. Anne knows exactly what is happening in this case. She's getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to know. Anyway, the drama continues and still no trial date. Next hearing is next Wednesday. Hoping for justice. Bye.
And notice how Jennifer Coffin, whatever, always puts photos of the victims in every single long ass post, right? Because we should always listen to her because she puts photos of the victims on there. And that means that Bryan Kohberger is guilty because she puts photos of the victims on there. Okay, next. Yes, and the name of the judge is Judge John Judge, JJJ.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then there's some people responding to her, and this is what happens when people respond to her. I'll do the responses and you do her. Okay, so actually, if you hire a company to do a survey of residents, but give them no info and ask no info from them other than results, then no, she is not getting paid to know. She is getting paid to find out if a trial in Latah County is going to be fair for her client.
Unfortunately, that's not what happened.
I think she has an ulterior motive, knowing this would be an issue, and getting her wish for change of venue. Sneaky, to say the least.
She is sneaky, a sneaky snake. And you wait. No matter who wins, I will be standing by for the conflict issue to rear its ugly head. Rawr.
Okay. She thinks she can push the envelope because it's a DP case, and the judge has typically given her a long rope prior to this. I always feel like she is filibustering when she's at the podium. You can do the next one.
I know we all have the right to an attorney, etc., but it amazes me the time and money spent on someone who slaughtered, I guess I should say, allegedly, 4 beautiful young people.
Are you for real?
Yes. Oh, the comment.
What? Oh my God. I guess I should say allegedly. That person said, I guess I should say allegedly. Are you for real? Holy cow. Because there is no defense. She already said to the effect of fighting this for the next 20 plus years. She knows the outcome. And DP means death penalty. She knows the outcome is going to be death penalty.
Thought it meant something else.
Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. This is Jennifer from Arizona. You be Jennifer from Arizona. This comment kills me.
Jennifer, I live in Arizona. I know he did it. They could probably bring this trail anywhere, and the people would know about the case.
Okay, Jennifer from Arizona. If you're listening, if you're watching this, were you there? Were you actually there in Latah County? Like, were you there? Oh, sorry, Moscow. Were you there?
Oh God,
like,
not Moscow.
Were you there? Like, did you see Bryan Kohberger do the stabby? Like, how do you know? Were you there? How do we know you didn't do it, Jennifer from Arizona? How do you know? Like, that's amazing. That's incredible. You should be a witness for the prosecution. Since that's wow, I'm amazed. Okay, and then someone else has come along.
Harpootlian did a very fair and unbiased video about this. Check it out, guys.
Yes, that's Andrea Burkhart Law, who's being called out there for having a wonderful, wonderful video, an unbiased video. And who is the next comment there?
If she's a defense attorney, it definitely wouldn't be fair and unbiased. I prefer analysis by lawyer, you know.
Defense attorneys can't be fair and unbiased, apparently. David, what do you think about that? David's in chat. David, what do you reckon about that one? You can't be fair and unbiased. Can't be fair and unbiased. Speaking of Andrea Burkett. Hi, Andrea. How's it going? All right. So Andrea couldn't be at this hearing, but she did do a stream about this. I think she actually live streamed it, which is not like her. But good for Andrea. Andrea knows everything about the Bryan Kohberger case. She's been following it all along, and she is bright as a tack, bright as a spark, bright as a something. I love Andrea, love her analysis, and she's come along and given a little bit of insight into this whole survey thing. I'll be Andrea. Whether the survey questions fall under the gag order or not, I tend to think they don't, but I can see the debate. At the end of the day, the effect of the press on the potential jurors has to be explored, and it's better to do it now than on the literal eve of the trial. You want to be the person responding?
I feel like the questions should have been agreed upon beforehand. There's a big difference between have you heard anything about the case / if so, what? And did you hear about blankety blank, blank, or blank? Because if they hadn't before, they sure have now.
That's right. And Andrea says, I definitely get this, but the questions are based on objective standards for this purpose. The judge shouldn't necessarily be second-guessing the judgment calls of the experts. For example, we don't pre-clear questions in child interviews, even though that's sensitive too. Okay, keep going.
I was looking forward to your take on this. At first, I was alarmed about survey until heard that surveying is often done under court approval or conditions. I think your predictions are sound, although it's a probability judge, JJ, will ask for it to be conducted later on.
Yes. Becca Lynn, you're absolutely right. I have an idea. Let's change the venue. How about that? That's smart. Because you know what? I reckon there's about maybe one person in Latah County who's not already tainted by this. And I like that word. There's no possibility that they could have somebody in this area who hasn't got some opinion on this. And look, it's just silly. The whole thing's just silly. All right. And we'll just play this.
Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania? Question. Have you read, seen, or heard if police found a knife sheath on the bed next to one of the victims? Question. Have you read, seen, or heard that DNA found on the knife sheath was later matched to Bryan Kohberger? Question. Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger owned the same type of car recorded on video driving in the neighborhood where the killings occurred? Have you read, seen, or heard if the cell phone tower data showed that Bryan Kohberger made several trips near the victim's home in the month before the killing? Have you read, seen, or heard if the university students in Moscow and their parents lived in fear until Bryan Kohberger was arrested for the murders? Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger said that he was out driving alone on the night of the murders? Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger stalked one of the victims? Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger had followed one of the victims on social media?
Okay. Yeah, Rosie, I feel so bad for him too if he's innocent. And right now he is innocent. Absolutely. Yes, no, yes, no. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. Those are the questions that people have been getting on phone calls from a survey company, apparently organized by the defense. Yes, organized by the defense. If they live in Latah County, and apparently there's been 400 people who've received these phone calls, and the defense has organized this so they can get an idea of how much people know about the trial so far, right? So it's a survey. Now, there's obviously way more people than 400 in Latah County. But the interesting thing about this, though, is those questions are straight out of the PCA, right? So straight out of the state's own document, Okay. Now, would you like to just read this comment up here, please, darling?
Up top?
Yep.
What a great irony. But thank you, Bill Thompson, for publicizing the survey questions. Those who didn't know came to know to a much larger audience during the hearings, surpassing 400 testimonies.
Yes. So I'll just read this thing down here, right? Most, if not all, came from the PCA. Bill Thompson said some of those things aren't true. Which things in the PCA aren't true? Good question, right? I believe they're all from the PCA. And Bill Thompson, who's the prosecutor, said himself that some aren't true. So what's not true, right? Well, there's things in there about Bryan Kohberger stalking the victims, Bryan Kohberger knowing one of them, at least one of them, on social media. So which of them is not true? That's very interesting. Now he's admitted that something or some of these things are not true. What's not true? Maybe he shouldn't have said that. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, we're moving on from that now. And the last topic today is this. No one ever said Alex didn't steal a lot of money. It's a big deal, okay? It's a big deal, okay? So Alex Murdaugh, he stole a lot of money from people. He admitted it. He admitted that he lied. He looked into people's eyes. No, he didn't actually admit that he looked into anyone's eyes. All right. Okay, so guys, Court TV. You want to read this one? Court TV said,
Alex Murdaugh is sentenced to 40 years in prison after pleading guilty to stealing monies from clients in his law firm. The disgraced attorney, who's very handsome, is already serving a life sentence for the murders of his wife and youngest son.
Oh, we got Nicholas. Do you want to do your Nicholas voice?
I, Murdaugh, stole 8 to 12 million, maybe a few million more. 40 years.
He's not Irish.
Sam Bankman-Fried stole 8 billion, 25 years. Make it make a sense. They're after my Swedish fish.
Oh God. Poor Nick. All right, Rosie. Hey, Rosie. How's it going? Rosie's on the screen. Rosie said they should add a section to the sentencing guideline adjustments entitled media hype, because that is the only plausible reason. Yeah, Nicholas is not Indian either. He's not a leprechaun.
I am trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Hey, Ron, I'm paying attention to you. Hi, Ron. How's it going? Come over here. It helps my algorithm. Hey, Ron. How are you? It's good to have you. Oh, dear.
Oh, I realized that sounded much more Indian than...
You're really not that great with accents, are you?
I do an Indian accent now. I'll still work it on my Swedish one.
Now, here's the thing, right? And it's interesting that this commenter here, and by the way, this commenter, I use this commenter a lot. If you recognize, if you're watching, could you please let me know if it's all right to use your name, your Twitter handle, because I'd love to credit you. Now, this is the lady with the kid in the hot car, if you remember. And Judge Newman actually presided over this trial in South Carolina. So would you like to read this one out, please, Dolly?
South Carolina, you unalive your child and gets 37 years. You steal monies and you get 40 years. Money means more than a child's life.
Yeah.
On Becky Hill.
Oh, Becky Hill's here.
In all fairness, Ella killed his child too.
I love the way she writes Alec.
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 Well, he did both. I know they were different trills in sentencing. He did get lift for killing his son. There is no just ice system. There is a who you know and how much money you got system, or a lenient progressive judge and court system. This is everywhere. The South, the North, rural city. It's an unfortunate situation for our country.
Yes, there's no justice system. Hello, obscure. Stop clicking on it. Darlie and I sometimes click on the same thing at once and we end up not bringing the chat up. Obscure Destinations Outdoor, thank you so much for the super sticker. You're awesome. I love having you here and your husband too. You're
Thank you
awesome.
so much.
Yay. Thank you for that. You're lovely and I love having you both here. Thank you for that.
Thank you for the support.
Okay. And we have the Becky Hill voice. The Becky Hill voice is the best. It's the best. We all love the Becky Hill voice. And did we get to this one over here?
Today's verdict only shows that the justice system knows that he has a very good chance to get a new murder trial. Otherwise, they wouldn't care about how many years someone gets who has a life sentence.
And clearly, this person down here with this this gif is definitely someone who thinks that he's guilty of the murders and is an anti-Murdaugh campaigner, maybe someone who watches a certain or listens to a certain podcast, cup of whatever. But and there's quite a few of them who get around with these gifts and things. But anyway, yeah, look, that's actually not a bad comment, this whole thing. Oh, hello, Rosie. Hey, Rosie, that's so sweet of you. 10 of the king's currency. The king's currency. Oh no, is it pounds? It is. That's so nice of you, Rosie. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. You are a big contributor to this stream.
Thank you.
You're always all over this stream. So appreciate that. Love your support, and you're a wonderful member also of this channel. Thank you for being part of this channel and all of your contributions, not only to this channel and to everything here, but also to all you do to call out all the garbage that goes on in the Murdaugh community. You're just great. Love you. You are an English rose, aren't you? I didn't know that. There you go. There you go. You're set up in Otter Creek. I sent her up in Otter Creek again. We're not that bad up here. Really? You're in Otter Creek? Really?
No, say hi to DUI guy.
Yeah, and Remy. Say hi to Lynette for me. Cool. All right. So yeah, that's actually a really good point, that perhaps he might actually be a good chance for a retrial, because why would they throw that many years at him? Is it just because they hate him? I mean, partly that. Okay, Ben Smith, my good old mate Ben Smith.
Some trying to get the hashtag let EB speak going now. Yes, it is an April Fool's Day, but no, this is not a joke. He will find a microphone afterward, don't worry. Probably brought his own. I need something to end my show on Sunday. Let EB speak.
Okay, hello. I am not Irish. Can you do an Australian accent? I think you can.
I need something to end my show on Sunday.
Okay,
mate?
let me just do it myself. Okay, all right. First, some context. So it was a federal hearing. So these financial crimes were in federal court, so it wasn't streamed. So poor EB, they're representing his clients who were victims of the financial crimes. He didn't get to talk, right? So he didn't get to get his face on camera speaking as he usually does on the live stream. So poor EB was like, oh my God, I didn't get to get on camera. That when I say EB, that's Eric Bland. That's that guy there, right? With the bobblehead. So Ben Smith got on Twitter and he's like, it's really bad. He's not going to get to speak. And so he goes, some are trying to get the hashtag let EB speak going. And it's April Fool's Day, but this is not a joke, right? And someone else said, yeah, he'll find a microphone afterwards, don't worry. And then he said he probably bought his own. And I went, yeah, I need something to end my show on Sunday, because I need something to end my show on Sunday today, right? And then Rosie's come along and gone, EB will currently be hunting down any microphone he can find, which he actually kind of was. Can we make, and then someone else come along and went, can we make hashtag EB shut the F up trendy? Ron Smith, do you really want me to speak that or not? Because you just said, please don't say that out loud. Bestie Ben. Ben's awesome. Yeah. And enough of that. Where's enough of that? Is enough of that here? Enough of that when poor EB, after 2 podcasts and umpteenth MSM mainstream media appearances, not enough, seems judges are all too familiar with his poo. Hashtag cup of crap. You're going to copyright it with my voice. Do you want me to say it or not, Ron Smith? Just let me know. I'll say the thing if you want. I'm going to say it. Howdy, mate. You have a shrimp on the barbie. I'll pay you for it. Done. We don't even say shrimp here. Okay, now the big moment. He found a microphone, guys. Check him out. Someone found a consenting microphone, and nice emojis, Rosie. Nice emojis. So she's got a little eggplant there and a microphone. EB, so hashtag EB, hashtag let me speak, hashtag Murdaugh. And so Dylan Nolan, he's from FitsNews. He came along and went, look, oh, sorry, this is a hashtag. Sorry, not a hashtag, a quote from Eric Bland. Look, if, and you can say it. Sorry, this is EB's words.
Look, if he wants absolution, he can go to church. EB.
Okay, do you want to read this next quote there?
He's such a narcissist. Wouldn't be surprised he's winking while looking on the mirror. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh God. And then Rosie said, haha, probably suspect there's at least one bobblehead out there that no one should ever touch.
It doesn't bobble anymore.
Okay, and I said, okay, that one is hashtag getting streamed. I said I would stream it. I streamed it. Done. Rosie?
Maybe don't do a visual impression. Representation of the violated bobblehead, though.
See, now you've given me the idea. No. I can't. See, here's the thing, right? Like, I only make fun of people if they ask for it. So I only do what people are putting out there. He made his own bobblehead. That's actually his bobblehead, right? So I just animated the bobblehead that he made of himself. I only ever put up what he does. I put his own words up there, right? So if he makes his own merchandise, I put his merchandise up there. I put his words up there. That's it. So, like, I'm, as much as I'm tempted, I'm not going to put whatever all over his bobblehead. I'm tempted. I really am tempted. But that's just me. I'm not like one of those people who's going to make... We're not
degenerates here.
No, I'm not that degenerate. No,
I am.
But yeah, like he is, but I'm not. But no, like that's just not me. I'm not. As much as I think it's hilarious, I'm not one of those people who's going to like make merchandise and all that kind of stuff out of somebody else's likeness. It's that's him. He did that. What's this? Gotta run.
Aww,
love you guys.
Dina.
Great show. Oh, thank you, Dina. You're awesome. What is that? What is your new
Sean
profile
with
picture? Oh, is that with the panda hat? Oh,
yeah,
that's so cool. Oh, that's so
with
cool.
Clyde.
And you've also got Clyde as well. Oh, that's so cool. I need to
you
get
so
that
much.
as an emoji. See you, Dina. Love you. And thank you for
you.
the super chat. You're awesome. All right, let's keep going. Right. So, does media attention combined with interested followers have an impact on justice system results and or sentencing? Well, good question. This is what EB had to say about it, and this was after the hearing. So he finally got to talk on X after the hearing.
Oh, real quick, John.
Thank you, John,
Thank you.
to put a poop emoji over his bobble head.
That would work.
Maybe. Okay, I'll think about it. And thank you for the super chat. You're
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
I love you.
You are awesome. I truly believe that when the financial crimes started to be revealed in the fall of 2021, year of our Lord, that Dick and Jim did not see this playing out the way that it has. I don't think they saw the playing field without the persistence and dedication of all of you amazing and smart followers and the constant media attention on this case in sunlight. I don't think we would have seen the results and sentences for the financial crimes that we have seen. Our goal has always been that the sentences for the financial crimes on both the state and federal level would be an absolute backstop for the double life sentences should be reversed. Alex will now spend the rest of his life behind bars without any chance of ever getting out. It couldn't have happened without all of you and people like Mandy, I made love to her, David Moses, Liz Farrell, Mark Tinsley, Justin Bamberg, I made love to him too, Creighton Waters, Judge Clifton Newman, Judge Richard Gorgle. Oh, I bet he likes to gargle. And Emily Limehouse, Winston Holiday, Sled, FBI, David Owen, Drew Tripp, John Monk, Ted Clifford, Brooke Brunson, and Ann Emerance, and Valerie Burlin. Thank you, E.B.
That was an Oscar speech and a half, wasn't it? Goodness me. Wow. Rosie says, how terrifying that financially motivated podcasters could have the ability to affect verdicts and sentences. Even more concerning is that they also publicly confessed to their intentions to do so. How far did they go in order to achieve their goal? I wonder. And he did say goal, didn't he? Just then. He said goal.
The goal of him.
Yeah.
How terrifying.
No, I just said that.
Oh, no wonder judges look at the law, not podcasters' opinions. Yeah, yikes. There's so much about this. But I think like the most troubling part, like for me, is seeing like an attorney admit publicly and proudly that their goal was to ensure the penalties for his financial crimes would keep him in prison for life. Grody, just in case the murder charges don't gag me with a spoon.
I think it does. We are a pitchfork society with a pack mentality. Is he a criminal? Yep. Is he the worst financial criminal in the history of the country? Depends on who you ask. Judges are not immune to publicity and public sentiment. Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric Bland has made such a mess in the bed. It really needs to be investigated. Why don't you do it? Correctness here in South Carolina. Now everything is better here. Hashtag South Carolina state ethics. My heart is with the Murdaughs who lost so much through this conspiracy. This was not going fair. They list all the conspirators in this game. Shame on each single one of them. Waters? Really? red flag, red flag, red flag, hashtag Murdaugh.
Yeah, to actually list out waters in there. Wow. Why?
Well, he likes his guitar skills.
I mean, Waters was his criminal prosecutor. So, and this is financial crimes. And
but for
also,
you still include him.
No, because he managed to get life behind bars. Okay. And then yeah, like this list all the conspirators in the game. Shame on each and every single one of them. Like it's like this is correct. Like they all colluded together. It does seem that way, doesn't it? Yeah, it is. It's collusion. Next time, Bland. Next time. Next time. I'm really considering it. I am. I'm thinking about it. I'm not a vindictive person, but maybe next time I'll think about it. I don't know. If you continue this way, I might take Rosie up on her idea. We'll see. There's just one thing I wanted to show you guys. I didn't show you this earlier. Steve was here and we were busy doing the Apple River.
Apple.
For the culture.
It's a hot case.
Please, I am speaking. Fix your dispatch. Somebody call Hendersonville.
Remember, I'm not going to sit here and read the transcripts you gave me.
This is horseshit.
Are we still on the internet?
Let him talk. God damn it.
By weed, you mean marijuana?
Yes, please. Yes.
Who is this guy? Tramp stamp lawyer from Taco Bell? I'm not impressed.
A Budweiser, a White Claw. People side-eye. The hell out of the Proud Feast.
You must eat potato chips.
Whoa. But also a nude lover? Oh my goodness.
Pew pew, guys.
No, are they canine dogs?
Forensic intent.
He took my face off.
And I never make it onto television.
Apparently sleeping together, her lingerie all over the master bedroom, and a picture of them together.
You don't need a credit card to ride on the dumbass train. Your ass is grass.
Sorry, my brakes are getting swirly on me. They need someone to jump on the bed to make it so the soaking is a little more fun. You know what I'm saying, Donna?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Phil, for that. Phil Foss on Twitter is also TYO Toys.
Yeah.
And he does these weekly wrap-ups. They're really fun. And I get to actually see a lot of different streamers who I don't know about or I haven't seen before. So it's really cool to see that. And
I was in the one
also,
last week and I showed my mom and she was so proud of me.
Oh, was she? She was so excited to see you in the wrap up.
Yeah.
And also I think that Phil's also been seeing a bunch of different streamers as well. So it's really nice to see people sort of mixing in different
out of a different circle.
Different circles. Okay, so where we were was we just go back to just the other thing was Sebastian Rogers. I decided not to cover Sebastian Rogers this week. I had put him down just with Sebastian Rogers. The reason I'm not covering that is because I've decided not to give oxygen to the wild rumors and speculations about the missing boy, mainly drummed up by both mainstream media and social media warriors. Look at all this garbage that's getting around about this guy, this little boy. He's autistic. He's gone missing. He's been missing for 38 days or something like that. All of this rubbish that's getting about his stepdad and all this kind of thing. Nancy Grace has acted like some sort of public interrogator. And so is JLR Investigates, etc. I'm not touching it. But what I am saying is this. Guys, that's him, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He's missing in Tennessee. If you know anything about him at all, if you have any information, it's 1-800-TBI-FIND. Okay? That's it. That's all I want to say about that. Let's just put that out there. No problem, Phil. TYO Toys.
I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here for that.
I
But
thought you
yeah,
earlier,
not
wasn't
touching
sure.
it. Not touching it. So
No. There's
um,
certain topics, yeah, you get a ton of views, but it's like
not worth it. Not worth it. It's not about that. Now tomorrow, new time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 a.m. It's a new time for that one for Scott Peterson, and we have a guest on. I didn't have time to put his face on there, but you know,
Me.
Max Murdaugh.
Oh,
You're not a
yes.
guest. Max Murdaugh is coming on tomorrow.
Hello,
so
hello.
if you know Max Murdaugh is coming on to the Scott Peterson stream. He is hilarious. He's so much fun. Yay, Max. So hi, Max, if you're watching, if you see this later, I'll be advertising that on all the platforms later on. Make sure you're watching tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m.
4:30
Pacific.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And I
That's
can be
tomorrow.
there.
Yay. And
I'd
Hearsay
be
for
there.
Days, we'll do this every week, 4 p.m. Eastern. It's been a long show today. It's been fantastic. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. Thank you to Steve Gosney for being here. It's been fantastic. How early till that stream gets derailed? I reckon about 10 minutes in. Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to talk, but
He likes to talk, but he knows lots about the Scott Peterson case. He knows lots about everything, but he knows heaps about the Scott Peterson
He's
case.
so intelligent and
He's so intelligent.
a weird guy.
Become a
but
member and join our salacious, outrageous, lewd, whatever it is, Discord community. Make sure you're a member, guys. If you're not membered up, it's really simple. Just press the join button, and you can join our Discord community. Either members of members of my channel or Dali's channel both get access as member perks to our Discord community. We are having more and more of our members only chats in there in our watch party groups, and they're super fun. So we're doing that. I'm going to do another one this Wednesday, I think. So make sure that you are a member. It's great fun. And thank you for watching. It's been a huge day. Huge day. Just a second. Let me just do one little thing before I finish up. Dali, do you have anything to announce?
No. I have a stream coming soon. Probably in the next week or two, I'm hoping. It's going to be very, very big with some never before seen content.
Never before seen content?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I've
All right,
been working very hard.
we're gonna raid Mr. Branca.
Is he still going?
He is. He's been going like a trooper. And he is a great friend of the channel. Awesome friend of the channel. So love Branca. In fact, he's probably going to pop on our stream Tuesday, I'd say, for a review of the Nick Godejohn appeal rejection. He had his appeal rejected, unfortunately. And people are all like, what can be done? What can be done? Not really sure much can be done about that. But he was here for the appellant brief. So people are really looking for some answers in regards to that. So it'll be great to have him here for that. Thank you guys, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Scott Peterson is innocent. Changed my mind. And thank you all for hanging out. It's been wonderful. Thank you, Dali, for everything. You're amazing. You guys have a fantastic Sunday or Monday, whatever day it is for you. And I'll see you guys later.